Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we're going to be going over a couple of coins, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Polkadot. We're going to kind of look at the charts and take a look at what the market's doing today. If you haven't already, do subscribe, drop a comment. So the question really is, are we going to actually see a hike or are we going to see another fall, given that the Feds are coming in? Well, let's take a look. So Ethereum right now is trading at around $1,310, not doing very, very well. We are at a very dead moment if you look at the chart. I mean, it is absolutely just slow to a stop. So we are below the 200 mark, still shows a rather bear market moving in. And we're looking at the daily chart, by the way, if you're not following along just yet. But it has been dead the last several days. I mean, just barely even alive, but still moving in a range and not looking too hot. Now here is that support. We had this a while back where you drew this. It's still hanging in there. At any moment you're really looking for it to pump, but just not doing it. Even if we're looking at the MACD, you can see it's just like riding along that line. I mean, it's from since really to even kind of move in. We've been waiting from since October 3rd to the 17th. I mean, we're talking about 2 weeks of just waiting for it to do something, but it hasn't. And honestly, if you really want to be honest, completely fair, I mean, we've been waiting since September 23rd, after here, waiting for it to fall in. Now, given that we have many different things kind of coming in, of course, but it's not, because even if we're looking at this top piece here, we're going to use it for our resistance point. We're just not reaching that point, and we're not even close to that point. Even if and even if we come here and just moving this just a little down to here, it's just not going to move. It's not happening. I mean, we're barely reaching that point. Let's call it here, right? So let's say this is going to be our new resistance line, which is just nothing. But just to give you kind of an idea, it is not even, as soon as we're getting touched, we're getting rejected barely off this little small resistance point. So not any kind of pressure going on. Look at the buying volume. I mean, it's none. We've had everybody sell and just people, just small trades, small buys, just coming in here a little bit and just barely keeping it just above the support line. So nothing good at all. But we could see a pump eventually, given what's going to happen. And we're looking at the week. We're still over the 200 moving average mark, but still just following. Keep getting rejected for lower prices though, which is good from the last week, right? And I want to move this just because it's kind of in my way. And so we just keep getting rejected, which is a good thing too as well, but also the higher prices are getting rejected, which is not good. But this can be a sign that it can pump, but at the maximum I could see, even if we had a huge run, a huge pump, it would be around $1,700, which would make news everywhere, but that's not where we are right now, right? So kind of dead in the water until we actually see something pump. We need a momentum coming up, at least touch around 1,400, 1,500 to actually call any kind of major watch areas, right? All right, that's Ethereum moving in. What about Bitcoin? Bitcoin's in the same boat. They're slowly inching down, but it's the same. Looking at the weekly chart, let's just move this down. So giving that the support's now hanging around 18,000. But right now, we're trading at 19,284. Again, dead in the water. Just completely dead. Moving, we have some rejections going on, right? Just barely moving up. It seems like it touched this point here around, what was it, 20,000 and gone. The maximum received, which was back 13th of September, the same thing like Ethereum, was 23,000. But, of course, everybody got excited, sold. And here we are. A good point of resistance is going to be about right around 18,735. So we're barely above that, but it's unless this day chart moves up with a little bit of momentum, again, not seeing much. But I think we'll probably touch around 20,000, but again, it'll get rejected again. Given this, all of this is showing you a really big point, and that's giving that there's just not buyers coming into the market right now. No one's sure. Everybody's paying expensive gas, expensive food. Life is expensive. No one's spending money. No one's investing money at all. Zero. And that's what you're looking at right now. When you're looking at these coins and you see this volume just barely surviving, honestly, it's a really hard market to trade in. I mean, you'll be making pennies at this point. So it's not something that this is showing you exactly how hard that the economy is right now. But given that if the Feds, whatever they're going to tell, it can change, right? When the dollar is strong, crypto is weak. When crypto is strong, for example, dollar is weak, or dollar is weak. So this is kind of what we're looking at as well. So if you're lucky, we'll reach around 20,000, 20,000 and a half. That's coming in. I mean, it's still. I mean, if you put $100 in, you're making pennies. Still, you're not really going to be making much from this. I mean, we need some good pumps coming in, but still, it's still showing we're under a under the 200 EMA mark, but still in the bull market. But it's coming down. We need to see it get somewhere above. We really, really need some kind of hope. The weekly is going to look much like Ethereum. They kind of follow each other, right? Looking at here, you can see the rejected of higher prices, the rejection of a lower price, and just kind of moving in. Now I could see there was some buying coming in, but honestly, the buying was actually just liquidated. As soon as it touched again around 20,000, gone. 20,000 again, gone. The same thing here is just really struggling. Now we want to see a nice change, a little swap over right here, but it's still dangerous to call it at that point. Now, given that this is a good level of our support, let's just put this in here for you guys. So you can see this area right here. Now, if it really touches above in this, and this is, honestly, I'm just making this area a little bit, let me just move. There we go. Where's it at? Okay. All right, around in this area, if it touches in here, the candle goes down, you can expect it to fall much, much more. Likewise, the same being, if it touches around in this area, you're going to see it to start to jump up a little bit more, a good entry point, but it's still a little too hard to call. And this is just looking at the weekly candle. So if you're looking for a long haul or a long investment, this is what you're looking at. All right, let's move on over to DOT. Let's see what DOT's doing. It's been kind of doing a little bit better on the market than what the other ones do. It's trading around $6.20. Right, and zoom in here a little bit. A little bit of a pump. We had a little bit of momentum, but here again we're getting rejected again. We're getting rejected right again at this price. From here, this is the daily, right? So had a good pump yesterday. No, I'm not going to call it a pump, but we had a good rise. A little bit of a momentum. It started to change here, but given that today's still going, we need to see this really move up, at least the size of the previous candle. We really need to see that move. So if we can do that, it will be much, much better. So the previous day, it's already there. To do this, we'll have at least 3 candles go by, but we'll start to see some selling pressure coming in around $6.50. Again, $6.49. Yeah, expect to see some pressure coming in there, and that's kind of something that to expect. So unless it was just a massive run, which I don't really think is really that possible soon, because I mean we're going to come in again in more resistance around 7. People are just not doing it. As far as the economy goes, it's just not going to happen. And as we're looking at the moving average divergence here, the MACD is still also very weak. It's gaining, but it's just not there. The selling power is too strong for this to really push much over this, and that's what we're looking at. But in general, this is what you can expect from DOT, from 6.5. If you bought, for example, if you bought around $5 when you reach that point, 577, and if it touches, and let's hope that it does, around 640, 650, or even before, just to be conservative, right? So let's say even if it touches 635, which is about 15 cents more than what it is now, I sell. I sell at this point, and that's probably what people would do. This is what I will do, but you can kind of see at this point where we're kind of strong. And if you're looking at these blue lines, green lines, right? These are some of the major market structures that's kind of coming in. Some key points to look at, around $9, and then the red being around $6, like where of course, is a good point to go ahead and leave if it falls below this line. If it really does drop too much below this line, again in that area, I like to use these areas. If it falls really, honestly, around here, you can expect this to really start dropping even more heavily. But it's way below the moving average, the 200 moving average, really signifying a bear market. So that's somewhere where I'll be watching for if it drops below that, and also if it starts to get closer into this range, to be watching for as well. All right. Jumping into, let's take a look at the market as a whole. Crypto bubbles, Bitcoin 0.8% up, Ethereum's by 2.1%. This is the daily, by the way. BNB 0.8%, Doge is up by 0.1%, XRP is down by 3%, BUSD 0.1%. We have Cardano by 0.5%, Hex is up by 1.7%, Atom is up by 1.5%, Solana is up by 1.7%, AVAX is up by 2%. And 0.9 as well, and Litecoin is also up by 1.7. Kind of really hard for them to be breaking the 2% marks, as you can see. Uni is up by 1.3. Nothing's really moving past that, and what we're looking at 3%. I mean, that's a hard push for the daily, which is honestly really sad. It really shows how weak that market is as well. Ethereum Classic by 0.9, Near is at 0.9% as well, and Leo by 0.6. You're just not getting any better than that. XRP minus 3%. That's the only thing that you're seeing like 3% or more is these, and of course this is going by the market caps as well. All right, guys, thank you for joining. Be sure to click the like button, subscribe, support our channel, and we will see you again next time.